Welcome to Trivia Viral. Our channel covers all the latest analysis and recaps on TV shows and movies, as well as interesting stories and facts that you may not have known. So sit back, relax, and subscribe to our channel if you have been enjoying our videos so far. A young tourist arrives at her hostel, then spends her days partying and sightseeing. A man offers her some strawberries. They start to get to know each other. He drives her back to her accommodation, and they almost kiss. Later, she talks about how much she would like to stay there, instead of moving to her next destination. The next morning, he goes to work at a local school. When the tourist gets dressed and packs up her day bag, she finds out that she is locked in the apartment. She does not find a spare key, and all the windows do not open. She believes it was an accident, so she hangs out in the apartment and waits for the man to return. When he gets back, she tells him that she was unable to leave. He realizes that he forgot to leave a key for her. The tourist finds the key in his pocket. She jokingly suggests that he intentionally locked her in, and then they get intimate in the shower. They go out clubbing, and she stays a second night. The next morning, before he leaves for work, he shows her the spare key on the dresser. She finds a photo of her asleep with the German word for mine written on her shoulder. He has also taken her phone's SIM card. She becomes very distressed because the key will not open the door, and her mobile phone is not working. None of the windows in the house open. She tries to escape by smashing the windows, but finds out that the windows are reinforced with plexiglass. The other apartments in the building that are adjacent to her are also abandoned, and there is no one to hear her cry. The man returns home and acts as if nothing is wrong. He brings her flowers and pesto. The tourist gets angry, but he restrains and ties her to a bed. The next day, the man visits his father, who asks why he was late. He tells him about meeting the tourist. His father asks about the girl he used to be seeing, and the man tells him that the girl went back to her country. That night, he lets the tourist shower, and she is horrified to see long blonde hair clogging the drain. She realizes that she is probably not the first victim. The tourist asks the man if he ever thinks about his previous girlfriends, and he replies that he doesn't. One day, he returns home to find the tourist doing a puzzle. While he is helping, she stabs a screwdriver through his hand and pins him to the table. Then she grabs the keys and runs down the staircase and across the courtyard, but a jammed door stops her, so the man catches her and crushes her hand in the door, breaking her finger. He carries the passed-out tourist back to the apartment. One night, one of the man's students turns up at his apartment and starts flirting with him. He had leered at her during gym class that day. Before answering the door, he warns the tourist that he will harm the student if she finds out about the tourist. The student is surprised to see the tourist in a towel. He says to her that it is his girlfriend. He threatens to report the student to the school, causing her to leave. He keeps doing bizarre things like taking Polaroids of the tourist in disturbing positions and cutting off pieces of her hair. Later, the man finds out his father has died in his sleep. He stays in his father's house for a week, but the tourist is locked in his room with the power turned off. Freezing cold and starving, the tourist is relieved when the man returns to the apartment a few days later. She says she thought he wasn't coming back. She comforts him about his father's passing, and they make love. The tourist starts to become more comfortable with the situation. She learns to play an accordion, starts baking, and cleans after the man. At Christmas, the man gives her some books and his father's old dog. However, he puts the dog down later because he is jealous of their relationship. Just after Christmas, the man pulls the tourist into the forest. He plans to end her life with an axe. Before they do that, a young boy runs toward them and cries out, saying that his brother hurt his leg. The tourist whispers to the boy to go get help, but he doesn't understand English, becomes afraid of her. The boy's mother arrives, and the man takes the tourist home. There she breaks into a locked room and finds a massage chair and a photo album filled with Polaroids of the man's previous victim. On New Year's Eve, while the man is enjoying a party with some of his co-workers, an elderly man sees the tourist in one of the aborted windows and tries to rescue her. But the man comes home and takes out the rescuer with a crowbar. He forces the tourist to wrap the body in plastic, saying that it is her fault. After that, the man burns the body in a dumpster in the courtyard. More time passes as the tourist is held prisoner. The man sees a missing persons advert for her in the newspaper. He tells her to pack her stuff into a backpack under the pretense that he is preparing to fumigate the flat. After the tourist sees a stack of workbooks the man is grading, she deliberately burns her hand on the stove and steals one of them while the man leaves the room to get some ointment. Later, the man leaves for a final time, shutting the power and water off. At the school, the man hands out the workbooks of his students, including the flirty student. The student finds a Polaroid of the tourist that the tourist had hidden there on purpose. As the student leaves the classroom in shock, the Polaroid falls to the floor. It gets passed around to the other students. Soon the man realizes that he has been exposed and panics, running back to his house. The student rides her bike and finds the tourist just before the man arrives. So the tourist lures the man into the flat and hides on the floor immediately above the flat. The man calls out to her, so she tries to mislead him. When the man returns to his apartment, the tourist is waiting behind him. Before the man can react, she locks the door from outside. The tourist is able to rescue the student from the kitchen cabinet in the upstairs apartment. In the end, the tourist finally returns home, riding through the busy streets in a taxi.
What are your thoughts about the story? Let us know in the comments section below. Subscribe if you would like to see more similar videos, and give us a thumbs up to get more recommendations of our videos. Be the first to watch the latest videos by clicking the bell icon. See you on the next video.